Hey guys, do you guessed it? We're going crazy again with pasta this week. So this week we will do something very fun with pasta. We'll make colored pasta and then we will make a nice crab filling in it to do some ravioli. So enough talking and let's cook this!
First we need to make the pasta and we will make 4 different color of pasta dough. First we will do green. There's a lot of way to obtain a green pasta dough. Here we're using parsley. We need 2 eggs, not just 1, because it's not gonna be wet enough. So that's 1 cup of 00 flour, 2 eggs, and a bunch of parsley. Put that in a food processor and process it in the food processor. Did I say process? After 1 minute in the food processor, just work the dough to make a nice taut ball like this and let this guy rest for 30 minutes at room temperature in a plastic wrap. For a red color pasta dough, we need a beet that has been boiling for 30 minutes. Put it with 1 cup of 00 flour and with only 1 egg because the beet add a lot of moisture in the pasta mix. And you may need to add more flour if you see that the pasta dough is too wet. And be very careful, after doing a lot of pasta dough, the food processor can be a little bit hot to handle, just like me. And again, all you need to do after is just to shape the dough into a nice taut ball like this. Isn't it the smoothest ball you ever seen? Put that little guy in the plastic wrap so it doesn't dry out and let it rest with his friend for 30 minutes at room temperature. Our last pasta dough color is black and we will use activated charcoal. So into 1 cup of 00 flour, 2 eggs, put 2 teaspoons of the activated charcoal and put this in the food processor and process this. Flour everything, be careful, this can be hot, remember? And now work the dough into a nice taut ball like this. It's smooth and beautiful. Let it rest for 30 minutes at room temperature. If you remember, in a previous video we keep our crab shell in the freezer and this is why. Put half a cup of butter and our crab shell at medium-low heat and let the flavor intensify for about 30 minutes or more. Here I'm using clarified butter so my lactose intolerant friend can eat this. In that butter, put the shallot and the garlic at medium heat. The smell is incredible already. After 2 minutes, incorporate half a cup of heavy cream and whisk a little bit and put some Parmigiano Reggiano. Let the cheese melt, and if you put a little too much like I always do, add a little bit more of heavy cream. Add the zest of 1 lemon and the juice of 1/4 of a lemon. Whisk this together and add some parsley into it. My mouth is watering right now. Now it's time for the filling. Let's use some nice fresh crab. This is a long process. You may need to have some help. You don't want to waste any ounce of that delicious meat. In our crab butter flavor, you want to put some shallot and saute them for a couple of minutes and let this cool down. Now rip the crab apart like if you're doing pulled pork. Maybe that's crab. Now with your greasy clumsy finger, try to zest that lemon in. Add about a tablespoon of chive, season with salt and pepper. Put the already cooled down crab flavor butter and shallot in. Mix all that goodness together and taste it. Delicious. And see if it passed the ultimate test. Now it's time to work the dough. Let's start with our charcoal activated black dough. Laminate the dough by folding it to itself a couple of times so this way you have more gluten development. Pass it in the pasta machine from setting number 0 to setting number 7 or 8. We want it to be a little bit thin. And a little tips, cover your pasta sheet with plastic film so it doesn't dry out while you're not working it. Repeat the process for the green dough. And we will use the linguine and the spaghetti attachment to make some linguine and spaghetti. And make sure everything is flour so it doesn't stick together and let it rest on a pasta rack. Do the same with the black dough. We'll still need to keep a sheet of black dough and we will do some spaghetti and linguine. And for the last, the red dough. And by the way, the reason we're laminating the dough is to create a more al dente texture in that dough with the gluten development. Now it's time to assemble everything and we will use some water to help stick the pasta together. Some people use some egg wash, but I prefer water because the egg wash can leave some residue. That's the fun part. Use the spaghetti and the linguine we made and make some nice shape. Gently press with your hand first and then with a rolling pin so they stick together. Before passing it in the pasta machine, you need to cut off all the excess and to flour everything and be very careful with it. And before passing it in the pasta machine, make a test to make sure you have the right thickness. And now repeat the process with the red one. Make sure there's not too much flour in it and put some water so both of the pasta can stick together well. There is so many possibilities here, the only limit is your imagination and creativity. Now that our 2 sheets of pasta are ready, it's time to put our delicious crab filling in. Put some water so the pasta will stick good together and make sure you have enough space in between each portion. Use your finger to press all around the crab filling and remove all the air inside of the ravioli. Use a pasta cutter to cut all of the ravioli. Press really hard and make sure all the edges are sealed. So this is it, we made some very fancy ravioli. Isn't it beautiful? All we have to do now is to put them into salted boiling water for about 90 seconds. Don't overcook this. When it's done, remove them quickly and remove the excess water. Now it's time to plate it. Put our delicious sauce on top, and if you want to go fancy pantsy, add a zest of a lemon and some chives on top. Isn't it beautiful?
Alright you guys, this is it! I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If so, leave a like, subscribe, and see you soon!